doesn't quit. So whether you're charging down the field or cruising the streets of Austin, remember greatness isn't given, it's driven. Together, let's hook 'em and drive victory home. Visit Lamborghini Austin's website to order your own Lamborghini Urus, Tamarario, or Ruelto at www.lamborghiniaustin.com.
Is that a faucet running?
That's not a faucet. That's a river rushing through the forest. Forest rivers provide over 100 million people with clean water to drink.
What? I can't hear you because of the vacuum.
That's not a vacuum. That's the trees in the forest cleaning up the air we breathe.
I didn't know the trees were so amazing.
Yep, and the forest gives us shade, trees to climb.
That's awesome. Let's go explore some more.
Visit the forest today and enjoy all it does just for you. To learn more about the forest and find one near you, go to discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
From the Audio Visual Consultation Studio, Sports Radio 1300 The Zone, KVET AM Austin. Guaranteed human. Your home for the Horns.
Of my senior year, one of my favorite classes, he makes an announcement to us.
Yeah.
I'm leaving. I'm gonna go be
Good.
mayor. He was leaving, and I was so mad at him because
Okay.
Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone presents Longhorns Game Day.
And he plows forward for a Longhorn touchdown. Leans forward. Touchdown, Texas.
Join Cameron Parker, Mike Hardball Hardge, and Mark Henry all season long. The Longhorns play here. We are live from Hook'em Hangout. This is Longhorns Game Day. Now here are your hosts, Cameron Parker, Mike Hardball Hardge, and Mark Henry.
Mike's up.
It's been an up and down season for the Texas Longhorns. A season, as head coach Steve Sarkisian says, there's been a lot of growing pains. And while Texas is not playing for an SEC championship today, they are playing against an opponent that is. And while they do not control their own college football playoff destiny, a win is needed for their playoff hopes, and it comes against a school that Texas fans oh so affectionately refer to as Little Brother. And Little Brother is back in Austin for the first time in 15 years. It's the Lone Star Showdown, Texas against Texas A&M. And with that, welcome to Longhorns Game Day, live from Bevo Blvd. I'm Cameron Parker, alongside Mike Hardball Hardge, who is the co-host of the Morning Kickoff every weekday from 7 to 9 a.m. on 1300 The Zone. What's up, Hardge? One last show.
Man, one last show. Exciting time. You start to see everybody milling around, and anticipation is a light word compared to what these folks have been waiting for. Texas A&M coming in 11-0. It was ironic. I was talking to somebody earlier, and they were talking about how ironic would it be if it be 12, for the 12th man. Well, I'm looking at 11-1. We're talking about that. That's what we're looking at. We're looking to mess up that party in College Station.
The third member of our broadcast team is usually the world's strongest man in WWE Hall of Famer Mark Henry. He's not here. He's in Norman, Oklahoma, taking up with the big guy, of course, supporting his son, Jacob Henry. I believe it's homecoming and senior day.
And it is, and they're playing LSU.
LSU.
Yes.
LSU. So, next man up mentality, of course, it's our guy, Eric Henry from Horns 247. What's up, Eric? Thanks for stepping in. We appreciate it.
No, anytime. Listen, back-to-back weeks, I get to fill in for the world's strongest man. I've affectionately called him my play cousin for all these years. I can do my best to play the world's strongest man, but I appreciate you guys having me for a second straight week.
Well, here it is, guys, for Texas. It's been an up-and-down season, as I said. You began the year at number one. Playoff hopes, national championship hopes. Your quarterback's a Heisman favorite. And then you lose 2 games early on the season. You fall out of the rankings altogether. You get back up, and while you don't control your own destiny, you got to win the day, Mike Hardge. And that's the first thing that's on Steve Sarkisian and Texas' mind here. You may win, still not get in, but the first thing you got to do is win and take care of business. And it comes against a team that is 11-0, Texas A&M.
Yeah, this is one of those situations where Texas comes home. They're playing another and their final home game of the season. You start to look at what they've gone through all year long and the ups and downs, as you mentioned, but it's been more of an ebb and flow. It hadn't necessarily been too high. It hadn't been too low. I think the lowest point was that game against Georgia in the fourth quarter. But you look at the battles in which they have played all season long, and one thing we cannot deny is the evolution and the evolving of this offense, number one. Number two, Arch Manning at quarterback. But most importantly, it's the togetherness of this football team. They made some changes on the offensive line. They've done some things, and it looks like a more composed football team.
Yeah, no, I would agree with you, kind of piggybacking off of Cam's point there. I don't think many Longhorn fans want to view this year as a developmental year, right?
No,
and I almost hesitate to use the word developmental because, are we really viewing 8-3, quote unquote, as developmental, right? It's not 5-7. It's not Steve Sarkisian's first year. However, when you take a look at the number of starters who were lost over the past 2 years and the number of guys who are acclimating and adjusting to new roles, I'm not saying 8-3 is necessarily where you want to be because right now Texas is not going to play for an SEC title. If they're on the outside looking, they're going to need help if they're going to make the college football playoff. It starts with a win here tonight. But I do think 10,000-foot view, guys, you take a look at everything this team went, whether it was Arch Mania, right, and kind of the seesaw, oh my gosh, the Athletic article, Arch Manning is college football's first flop, all that, kind of hectic nature that comes with Arch Manning as your quarterback, right? The development of the offensive line, the development of new guys on defense emerging into new roles, right? All in all, I think, again, I'm not saying that the season is necessarily a success of what you wanted, but there is so much to be gained from this season moving forward. And again, the season's not done because you got a huge matchup tonight, which for all intents and purposes, it's huge for both teams, but for Texas to be able to, again, win the Lone Star Showdown would be huge, guys.
And Eric, that's a great question you posed. And Hardge, let me ask you this. If Texas wins today and doesn't make the playoff, is it still a successful season? How do you view this season with a win today but no playoff? Do you need the playoff for it to be a successful year for Texas?
Well, going back up what Eric said, I mean, being able to win this game means everything because of the fact that it doesn't necessarily mean you have to be in the college football playoff. It means that you saw your team get better after the ups and downs that they had all season long. You saw a team that continued to fight. And that's something that Coach Sark talks about all the time. He's like, guys, our team comes in and they fight every single day. They've been in every single ball game except for the fourth. Well, they were in that game until the fourth quarter. So every game Texas has played, they've been right there. Is it a lot of young guys? Yes. Did they get better as they got older? Absolutely. Now you can look at it and say, yes, this is a successful season. It fell short of expectations. That doesn't mean that it's not a successful season.
Eric, does Steve Sarkisian have a problem against top 5, top 10 teams? Because here's his record: 2-7 against top 5 teams, and 5-8 versus top 10 teams. Of course, he's faced number 1 Ohio State this season, lost to number 5 Georgia, lost to
now number 3.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts, Eric?
No, the reason I laughed is because, ironically enough, I actually touched on that earlier in the season. I wrote on that, does Steve Sarkisian have an issue against top 5, top 10 teams? Well, what's funny is there was a social media post, I know Hardge saw it as well, where they juxtaposed Jimbo Fisher, Kevin Sumlin, and Steve Sarkisian. Of course, the 2 former A&M head coaches, and then Steve Sarkisian's their time. However, not all situations are created equal, right? What Steve Sarkisian was walking into in terms of, let's just take the first 2 years out of it, right? Because they had some of those losses that were accumulated, happened the first 2 years. And then, I will say this, people can call it an excuse all you want, the loss in the Sugar Bowl, 2024 Sugar Bowl, 2023 season to Washington, that was the greatest quarterback performance I've ever seen in Michael Penix. I've covered live, right? So to answer your question, I'm not filibustering. I'm saying this. Yes, you do want Texas to win some of those top 5, top 10 games. I would counter with this. Steve Sarkisian has, and his Texas team has shown, they've gone to Alabama and won, gone to Michigan and won. Obviously, they didn't win at Ohio State, but they've gone to, and they went to Texas A&M last and won. They've gone to hectic environments, tough environments, and come away with wins. So to answer the question, I wouldn't say it's a problem. Texas does need to win some of those games, but the record itself, it's a little deeper than that when you consider the first 2 years Steve Sarkisian was walking into.
And Hardge, against these top 5, top 10 teams, we've seen Texas, as you mentioned, a lot of our one-score games. The Georgia game really the only blowout against the top 5, top 10 teams. So Sark and his team have shown that, hey, we can contend with these teams. The next step is, can we beat these teams?
Yeah, you got to get to the finish line, and that is the most important part. You start talking about being able to get to the championship game. You saw Texas make the playoffs back-to-back years, come up short back-to-back seasons. They haven't gotten to the finish line. So this is those moments that Texas has been playing for. This is what they've been looking for. And now you have an opponent that everything that we're talking about, they're playing for. The opponent is Texas A&M. They are playing for an opportunity to be in the SEC championship game. They're already going to be in the college football playoffs. Now they're looking at their opportunity to play in the playoffs for a national championship. So everything that you were striving for, they've already looked at in their face. And now it's your chance to go out there and spoil what a lot of people are looking at as the greatest Aggie season ever.
It's the Lone Star Showdown. Texas against Texas A&M for the first time in Austin since 2010, 15 years. And we'll break it down here on Longhorns Game Day. Cameron Parker alongside Mike Hardball, Hardge, and Eric Henry filling in for Mark Henry. A lot more to come. First, let's get you a preview of what's on deck, built by TimberTech. Visit timbertech.com. Everything wood should be. Eric Henry's with us for the first hour of today's program. Then we have CJ Vogel from On Texas Football stopping by as well. Bob Ballou from CBS also, sports writer, get their thoughts on this game. Of course, we always will visit with Roger Wallace and Craig Way. That's up next. And then at 4:45 p.m., hoping to visit with UT women's basketball head coach Vic Schaefer as the Longhorns coming off 2 major wins over number 3 UCLA and number 2 South Carolina. The first time in 25 years that a program has beaten top 5 teams in back-to-back days. Texas did it this week. So a lot to come to. Of course, we're going to get Mike Hardge's keys to today's game. But up next, Craig Way and Roger Wallace live from DKR as Longhorns Game Day live from Bevo Blvd continues after this.
Okay.
The morning kickoff.
I cannot believe that you and I are seeing things exactly the same. That's a miracle.
With Mike Hardball Hardge.
Why do you keep moving closer to me, man?
And the world's strongest man, Mark Henry.
Man, that's a lot of man. Like, let them guys. I'm going to punch you before the show is over.
Weekdays at 7 on 1300 The Zone.
Hi, folks. Craig Way here. The year was 1963. The future greatest basketball player of all time by the name of Michael Jordan was born. The Texas Longhorns won their first football national championship under head coach Darrell Royal. An inner space cavern right down the road was discovered while building I-35. Come see all of the amazing history and beauty that Inner Space Caverns has to offer. It's only 20 minutes north from downtown Austin, exit 259 in Georgetown. Inner Space Caverns. It's absolutely amazing. At Leif Johnson Ford in Austin, Manor, and Buda. You'll love it at Leif. That's right. You'll love it. At any Leif Johnson location. What you see is what you pay with no hidden add-ons. We're here to help you through the entire process in person at one of our 3 locations, or we'll bring it to you and do the entire transaction online. You'll love it at Leif. Visit one of our 3 locations in Austin, Buda, or Manor, or online at LeifJohnsonFord.com. You'll love it at Leif.
It's the game's final seconds, and the score is tied. But wait, another trip to the bathroom?
Don't miss the game's best moments because of frequent bathroom breaks. Introducing prostate artery embolization from ARA Diagnostic Imaging, a leader in PAE, a non-surgical treatment for enlarged prostate that helps reduce urgent urination with low risk of sexual side effects. Visit osrad.com/PAE to take a quick self-assessment. ARA, leaders in medical imaging.
No more waiting. Your goals start now. This Black Friday, take your workouts around the world with Nordic Track and iFit. Save big on treadmills, bikes, and rowers at NordicTrack.com. Nordic Track. Train anywhere. Explore everywhere. Remember who taught you your ABCs? Who showed you kindness and sharing? That was Sesame Street. And today, Sesame Workshop is still helping children around the world grow smarter, stronger, and kinder.
But Elmo can't do it alone.
This holiday season, Sesame needs your support. Donate now at sesame.org/iHeart. That's SESAME.org/iHeart. Because the world needs Sesame, and Sesame needs you.
Elmo loves you. Thanks for making a difference.
Every year, more than 2,000 volunteers join the Salvation Army's Angel Tree program to make Christmas bright for over 7,000 local kids.
Hold on, let me pull them up.
Your coworkers, your small group, and help give the gift of joy this season. Your gift stays local and it's matched dollar for dollar. Be one of those that helps provide Christmas gifts for hundreds of Austin kids. Volunteer, adopt an angel, or donate today at SalvationArmyAustin.org. Let's show what Austin can do when we give together.
Hey, Texas fans, Craig Way here. It's time to kick off your deck project with TimberTech.
Hello? I got him.
Delivers real wood looks without the costly maintenance, and it will never rot, warp, splinter, or peel. Plus, with industry-leading warranties, you know your deck will perform at the top of its game season after season. Take a look, and you'll be hooked. Order free samples online at timbertech.com.
Big news, Texas. The Silencer Shop showroom is now open in Liberty Hill. Get hands-on with silencers, explore interactive displays, and talk with our expert staff. Whether you're new or a pro, we can make your guns better because we give a shh. The new Silencer Shop showroom, now open in Liberty Hill.
At In-N-Out, we like to think of ourselves as the vintage muscle car of burgers. After all, both are handcrafted, made with an appreciation for every detail. One with the finest materials, the other with the freshest ingredients. And seeing either one brings a smile to your face. Muscle cars and double doubles are all American classics, and both are gone in seconds.
Okay, Texas, pop quiz. True or false? Walmart has more than 500 million items online. True. Find a huge selection online that you can't find in stores. True or false? Groceries always cost more when they're delivered. False. Walmart's grocery prices are the same for delivery as they are in store. Last one. Walmart can deliver in as fast as an hour. True, y'all. Use express delivery to get eligible items to your doorstep before the pool party starts. Walmart. Who knew? Subject to availability. Fees and restrictions apply.
Texas Gun Shows, the largest gun show in Texas, is headed back to Buda this weekend. Texas Gun Shows, voted the #1 gun show in Texas, will be at the Central Texas Fieldhouse just off Interstate 35 in Buda this Saturday 10 till 5 and Sunday 10 till 4. Hundreds of tables of guns, free parking, and no toll road. Do not miss it. Plus, special guest, the TGS Calendar Girls will be on site selling Texas Gun Show calendars with tons of discounts inside. This weekend at the Central Texas Fieldhouse in Buda. For more info, visit gunshowstx.com. Texas Gun Shows, making gun shows guns again.
Get ready. World Cup ski racing is back on U.S. snow. The Stiefel Copper Cup, presented by United Airlines, hits Copper Mountain, Colorado, November 27th through 30th. Watch the best ski racers in the world, including your favorite Stiefel U.S. ski team athletes like Michaela Schifrin, battle it out for glory and a spot on the 2026 Olympic team. Catch all the action from this Olympic qualifier on NBC and CNBC, November 29th and 30th.
The holiday hustle is real. The traffic, the crowds, the never-ending to-do list.
And nowhere to park. Perfect.
That's why drivers use ParkWiz. They already save up to 50% when they book ahead. This holiday season, use promo code JINGLE10 in the ParkWiz app for an extra 10% off your reservation. Because during the holidays, every minute and every dollar counts. ParkWiz. Less circling, more celebrating. Download the ParkWiz app and use code
Here we go.
Save an extra 10% today. Offer valid through December 31st. App reservations only. Limit 1 per user.
Welcome back to Longhorns Game Day with Cameron Parker, Mike Hardball Hardge, and Mark Henry.
Live from Bevo Blvd, it's Longhorns Game Day, our final home game from DKR this season. Cameron Parker alongside Mike Hardball Hardge and Eric Henry from Horns 247 stopping by. Kickoff between Texas and Texas A&M at 6:30 p.m. That'll be live right here on 13 Under the Zone, also on 98.1 KVET. Network coverage begins at 5:30 with Craig Bay and Roger Wallace, and we'll go ahead and visit with them live right now from across the way at DKR. Good afternoon, Craig, Roger. I'm sensing it's a very, very tired broadcast booth today.
I think I won't speak for Roger. Having a day to recover, or at least 3/4 of a day to recover, certainly helped out. We landed with the men's basketball tournament. It was an overnight deal, and you know it as well, Cam, since you were on it. Landed mid-afternoon, and Linda and I were able to run the Lubies for our Thanksgiving dinner, so it worked out.
You weren't kidding about that.
It was good. I wasn't kidding. I was serious. So we did that, and then I just relaxed, watched the Texas women's stirring win over South Carolina last night, and got a full night's sleep for the first time in a while. So I feel pretty rested and energized. I can't speak for Rod, because they had their early departure time.
No, I'm good. I'm not going to complain about that. It was a great game, exciting finish, and ready to go. How can you not be ready to go? Adrenaline, if nothing else, as they say, kicks in. But a thrilling couple of wins for the Texas women in Las Vegas, and now see what happens here tonight.
Speaking of tonight, fellas, congratulations on being back home. We appreciate y'all. Great work. I was locked in on all of it this weekend. Exciting times, but now it doesn't get any more exciting than this. Texas and Texas A&M getting this rivalry back at DKR. A lot for both of these teams to play for. Obviously, Texas wants to go out on a winning note on the regular season and hope for some help. But Texas A&M is playing for that magical number of 12-0. Coach Sark said at the beginning of the year, we didn't know if anybody would be able to go 12-0 anymore. But now we're sitting here looking at Texas A&M, and Texas, of course, trying to knock them off.
Yeah, and I'll be honest with you, Hardge. I mean, when you think about what A&M has in front of them, obviously big things in front of them. The 12-0 is important, but it's also important because if they lose, they're not guaranteed to get into the SEC championship game. So they need a win for that. I think I saw the ESPN FP, whatever, the power percentage thing about getting into the playoff. They were 99% going into today, regardless of whether they won or lost. They were going to be at 99%. So I think they're safely in the playoff. The issue is, A, can they be in the SEC championship game? B, lock down a bye, and C, beat their arch rival, and not necessarily in that order.
Yeah, and for Texas, a lot of people have been asking them about, spoiling things for A&M, and then Longhorns, Steve Sarkisian, this is about getting our 9th win and having a chance to still go to the playoff, at least be in the conversation, see how it shakes out. If not, you still have a chance for a 10-win season, but mostly, how about 3 top 10 wins in the season if they can do this? And they know how difficult it's going to be, but I think this is all about not the big picture, but the little picture for this Longhorn team. And I would venture to say it's the same way for Texas A&M, because to Craig's point, they're going to the playoff. There's 3 teams that are playing rivalry games today and tomorrow that are going to the playoffs regardless. Indiana tonight and Ohio State tomorrow.
And Georgia right now.
Yeah, they're going, and they're sitting ready to go to the SEC championship game if things fall a little bit with their season ending in the conference play when they beat Texas.
Yeah. So, fellas, I like to say that when you roll it all back to it, I guess a lot of what it comes down to is this rivalry game and what it means. Yes, the Longhorns have an outside shot, but it's outside at best. What with Utah's win today is certainly not helping them. And, the way some of the other things have fallen, it's probably not going to work out for the playoff for Texas, but so much more to play for. A chance, A, to beat your arch rival, hand them their first loss of the season. B, have 3 wins over top 10 teams. C, sweep all of your rivals for the 2nd straight year, Oklahoma, Arkansas, and A&M. And then D, a win today gives them a chance with a bowl win to get to 10 wins and continue that double-digit win track they've been on the last couple of years. So there's plenty on the table for Longhorns, whether they get to the playoff or not.
Yeah, Craig and Roger, it's so interesting to hear you talk about the fact that a win today would give Texas wins over A&M, over Oklahoma, over Arkansas, because that's been one of the biggest talking points over on our Horns 24/7 message board, saying, hey, if we can't make the college football playoff again, can we at least get these 3 wins? But to bring it onto the field, guys, when you look at Marcel Reed, I don't want to say he's a completely different quarterback than he was last year, but you can tell this team's growth, this team being A&M, their growth has gone along with Marcel Reed's growth as a quarterback. Just from a 10,000-foot view, guys, how crucial is it for Texas to, again, you can't stop a guy like him, but to be able to at least slow him so that he's not the game changer that he has been for A&M this year.
Yeah, and we saw Taylon Green make some plays before he went out, and I think Reed a little bit quicker, not quite as big, and certainly better in the passing game. But to your point, Eric, they're going to put up some numbers, but can you get a turnover? Can you get a sack? Can you get some 3rd down stops? Because we know how good A&M is on defense on 3rd down. So I think that's the key. Give yourself a short field, or like they did last week. Now, that was after the fact, but still a defensive score. But, yeah, I don't think you're gonna stop him. And then on the flip side, I think Arch and this offense needs to continue to play with that great rhythm and the chunk plays that they were able to come with last week.
Eric, I'm sure you saw it, and fellas, I'm sure you saw it as well. I saw it first, I think, on social media, and then I saw it, I think, on SportsCenter this morning. They did a comparison of Arch Manning's numbers and Marcel Reed's numbers. They're almost identical. In fact, Arch's might be just a tiny little bit better, a few more yards, and 1 less interception. But they're saying, so, why is Reed getting more? Well, they give you 11 reasons. They're 11-0, and certainly if you're going to be the quarterback posting good numbers on a national championship contending team, you're going to get more love. And I think also the early struggles that Arch had took him out of the minds of Heisman voters or All-American voters, and that's understandable. He has had a gradual ascent and has gotten better and better virtually every week, and that's the important thing for Texas tonight.
Visiting with Craig Way and Roger Wallace, the Longhorn Radio Network broadcast crew. Guys, typically in bigger games like Texas, Oklahoma, there's always a notion that you can throw out the record, throw out the rankings at anyone's ball game. Have you felt the same way about this rivalry, despite it not being at a neutral location over the years?
I have this year, Cam, if only because the teams are good enough to beat one another, no matter what the records are. There have been years where one was definitely not better than the other going in. And if the team that wasn't as good as the one that was going in ended up winning, it was looked at as being a really sizable upset. And that's happened a few times over the years, but it hadn't happened an awful lot. Put it this way, it hasn't happened a deal where you said every year is up for grabs. This game is a little more up for grabs, if only because both teams are good. And I think, and you know me, I don't even really get into the wagering line thing, but then I saw where it started with Texas a favorite, now Texas A&M a slight favorite. So, I think it's that close, depending on who makes the right amount of good plays. And it could have gone that way last year, except the Longhorns dominated line of scrimmage, even though they weren't getting their offense completely in gear, and that was a Longhorn team that was significantly better than Texas A&M. Yet, if they had lost that game, then A&M would have gone to the SEC championship. That's how close I think this thing is.
Yeah, I appreciate that too, because there's so many people that I've talked to and I've listened to that eventually this game always comes down to a coin flip because of what we talked about, where the records really don't matter at this point. Rivalry amongst your brotherhood and amongst all those players that you grew up with. But let's get back to it. I mean, we're sitting here outside of this stadium. We're looking at everybody walking around. What do you expect to be the difference maker besides turnovers? We always know the turnovers are a huge factor, but what would you say would be the biggest difference maker in this matchup?
Well, you make a good point, and Roger and I were talking about before. By the way, he had to head down and do a live shot for KXAN.
Yep.
But the line of scrimmage play is so big. I've been saying for the last 2 to 3 weeks it was going to be really crucial for the Longhorns to establish a ground game, and it was a little bit better against Arkansas certainly than it was against Georgia, but they need more. And against this Aggie team that is as balanced as they are, and between Ruben Owens and Le'Veon Moss, they do a lot, even Amari Daniels. And that makes Marcel Reed all the more dangerous getting outside on the RPOs. And then he's got a bevy of receivers, Craver and Bussey and Concepcion and Norman. I mean, they're all guys who catch the football. Orstrom, the tight end, they're all really, really good receivers as well. They have an abundance of weapons. So it'll come down to having your defense buttoned up if you're Texas. And then on the other side, I think the Longhorns they're going to have to make some plays, whether it's Arch doing it. This is a game where you really don't need drop passes or throws that are dirted. You need on the mark precision passing, catching, and running after the catch. You just got to be on your marks when you're trying to beat an 11-0 number 3 team in the country, arch rivalry notwithstanding.
Correct. I got one last one for you. You've been around this rivalry a long time. Would love to get your perspective on this. How crucial is it for, especially for Texas, to maintain its composure? This is a team that has struggled with penalties throughout the year, but when you're playing in a rivalry of this magnitude at home, it's a little bit different, right? When you go on the road, it's kind of the us against the world mentality, but doing it here at DKR, can you just talk about, the atmosphere and the composure factor that Texas will need to maintain, especially early in this game?
Yeah, Eric, I agree with you on that. There's another factor, too, and I know you're well acquainted. All you guys are. It's senior night. So there's guys that are going to be playing their final game here at DKR. We know that, even if by some really unusual circumstances they wind up in the playoff, they're going to be on the road. So this is it. This is the final home game for Texas in terms of being at DKR. So it's a big night, and you do have to what is it Sark likes to say? You play with emotion, but not emotional. Right. I heard Mike Elko say something about that last week, earlier in the week in his news conference about balancing the emotion of the moment with the execution that you need. And I'm sure both head coaches will preach that sort of thing, while at the same time wanting their guys to come out fired up and get the early jump, draw first blood, all of that kind of stuff, and let the emotion play into it, but not override the execution that you have to have in order to be successful.
Craig, as always, we really appreciate it. One last time for Bevo Blvd, and next time we talk, it'll be Ohio State here in 2026.
Well, we
got a bowl game.
We got a bowl game to deal with,
DKR.
but not at DKR. You're right. That'll be the last time for it here. And the last time, by the way, speaking on trying not to get too emotional, final game to work out of this broadcast booth. And I've worked a lot of games out of this broadcast booth, but it's going to be relocated. We're going to be relocated next year to a different position, and it's not going to be where we've been since I first went into the booth in September of 1992. So that's kind of run through my mind a little bit as well. But when it's kicked off, just like they say, you set the emotions aside and you get down to business.
Well, hope you, Roger, and we'll have a great call.
Thanks, fellas.
That's Craig Way and Roger Wallace joining us live from the DKR broadcast booth. Again, network coverage begins 5:30 p.m. right here on the Zone. Also on 98.1 KV. Kickoff time at 6:44 p.m. Up next, CJ Vogel from On Texas Football joins us live from Bevo Blvd. It's Longhorns game day. It continues after this.
Craig here with
All clear.
of DJC Law. Injuries can occur anywhere, not only on the field. So if you've been injured by someone's negligence, don't fight alone. Call the team at DJC Law, the GOATs of personal injury.
That's right, Craig. At DJC Law, we fight hard to represent injury victims and get them the compensation they deserve.
Call DJC Law today at 512-888-9999. That's 512-888-9999. Or go to teamjustice.com. Principal Office, Austin, Texas.
Chris and Kyle here. We're Elite AC and Plumbing, the local guys. Unexpected plumbing problems can be a hassle. From running toilets, clogged pipes, to new water heaters and water softeners, we've got you covered. Give us a call for your commercial and residential needs.
Elite Heating and Air and Plumbing. Call us because we care.
Hey, bro, weirdest thing is happening at the game. This guy sitting next to me says, "You're our good luck charm. Every time I crack a Bud Light, we score a touchdown." Now his entire family wants to buy me Bud Lights. I think I'm some kind of a football prophet. Talk soon. The team needs me.
Anything for Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Stock up today. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2025 Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Hey Longhorn fans, your game day just got easier. Introducing the brand new Texas Longhorns app with Gameday HQ. Everything you need is right at your fingertips. Real-time ticket updates, parking info, and all the details to get you to the stadium stress-free. Turn on push notifications for can't-miss updates, exclusive offers, live scores, and highlights that bring the game to life wherever you are. Download the Texas Longhorn app today. Available on Apple and Android devices. Never miss a minute of the action.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Severe from Vicks.
Sinex Severe nasal spray.
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Severe instantly relieves nasal congestion and works 6 times faster than nasal decongestant tablets. The 12 hours of relief allow you to get back to the moments that matter without congestion.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it. Try Sinex Severe from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
At Bank of America, we asked our people, how do you take ownership of your career?
I'm able to grow my way by putting the priorities that I have for my career first.
I thrive on being a leader who's behind the team, not in front of the team.
Every few years, I'm being re-energized because I get to do something different and learn something new.
See how our teammates are growing in their careers at bankofamerica.com/great-place-to-work. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America, proud to be an equal opportunity employer.
How hot can you handle? At Tumble 22, we take our chicken seriously. From golden crispy to burn your boots off spicy. Yeah, we said it. With 6 heat levels to choose from, there's a flavor for every spice fan, even if you like it painless. Cool down with an ice cold sweet tea, then finish strong with our legendary buttermilk pie. Sweet, spicy, and everything nice. Made fresh, never frozen, and served with serious Southern hospitality. Tumble 22, where spice lovers come to play.
Hey everybody, Cody Johnson here. When I'm up on stage, everybody plays an important part. But there's one more thing that makes for a great performance. My Wrangler Cody Johnson collection. It's stylish, comfortable, iconic Western wear with an authenticity that cowboys will appreciate. The Wrangler Cody Johnson collection? Hey, you gotta love the sound of that. Wrangler, long live cowboys. Available at Cavenders and Cavenders.com.
The only thing between you and your best self is a start button. This Black Friday, explore the world with Nordic Track. From the peaks of Peru to the streets of Paris, every workout moves you somewhere new with iFit trainers leading the way. The equipment's amazing, smooth, quiet, and those screens make it all feel real. Ready to start your next workout adventure with the #1 treadmill brand in the U.S.? Shop NordicTrack.com for Black Friday savings. Nordic Track. Train anywhere, explore everywhere.
This winter, the world will be watching the best skaters chase their Olympic dreams. For your child, that dream could start right here at your local rink. Through Learn to Skate USA, kids build strength, confidence, and courage, the same qualities that take athletes to the Olympic ice. Learn to Skate USA offers programs for skaters of all ages and abilities. This is where the journey begins. Find a program near you at learntosskateusa.com because every champion starts with a first glide.
At Henna Chevrolet, the price you see is the price you get. Like a 2025 Chevy Silverado 1500 LT with $15,000 off MSRP. No required dealer accessories when you arrive. No market adjustments. And we have over 40 lenders competing for your business. And when banks compete, you save. That's why Henna is Austin's favorite Chevy dealership. For a lower price made easy. Together, let's drive at Henna Chevrolet or Henna.com.
From the Audio-Visual Consultation Studio, Sports Radio 1300 The Zone, KVET AM Austin. Guaranteed human. Welcome back to Longhorns Game Day with Cameron Parker, Mike Hardball Hardge, and Mark Henry.
Mike's up.
Thanks to Craig Way and Roger Wallace for joining us from the broadcast booth at DKR. Remember, we're live up until 5:30 p.m. right here at Bevo Blvd. And then Craig, Roger, and Will Matthews take over right here on the Zone, also on 98.1 KBET. Kickoff time at 6:44 p.m. We're now joined by CJ Vogel from OnTexasFootball.com. CJ, first off, what's up? And hey, this is the game that we grew up with. Then we get to college. It doesn't exist anymore because the SEC now has A&M. We're in the Big 12. But here we are finally, second game of the A&M Texas rivalry in the SEC, the first one in Austin. It feels good to be back.
It does. It's nice to be in Austin for this game. You know, where this game was over the last 15 years for me and you is probably just on timelines and, beefs with friends. We didn't get to see it in person. We didn't really get to grow up with it in the formal years of trash talk of middle school and high school. So for it to be back, and especially back here in Austin, that's exciting.
Yeah, a lot of folks are obviously milling around and getting excited for this game. They've been waiting for this moment since last year's game. Regardless of the records, you know as well as I do, it doesn't matter when you're going up against Texas A&M, you're going up against Oklahoma, and you're going up against Arkansas. The rivalry is still there. But getting onto the field and you start to look at how these teams are so evenly matched, the records may not say that, right, but they are so evenly matched. When you look at the numbers and you dive into it, what are some of the things that stand out to you for both Texas and Texas A&M?
It's ball security first off. In a game like this where momentum swings so heavily, especially like you mentioned in the Cotton Bowl, those rivalry games can take a quick turn very easily if you turn the ball over and allow quick, easy points. Oddly, for Texas A&M's 11-0 record, they have a -10 turnover margin this year.
Right.
They don't take the football away, and I kind of look back at that Texas OU game this season and say, Texas can stay ahead of the chains because A&M, the #1 third down defense in the country, stay ahead of the chains, move the football, just allow yourself an opportunity in third and short, potentially fourth and short, because if you're Steve Sarkisian, you're not really playing to lose anything here. I think you have to do exactly that and protect the football more than anything if you want to have a chance in this one.
Yeah, no, I'll kind of piggyback off what CJ said, right? One of the things he talked about was protecting the football, as I said with Craig in the segment earlier, penalties, right? We all know Texas 133rd, tied for 133rd in the nation in penalties, averaging just over 8 per game. The most challenging thing when you take a look at the penalties Texas committed, A, so many offensive penalties, but B, the pre-snap penalties, right? The false starts, the snap infractions, things of that nature. Of Texas's 23 pre-snap penalties, 11 of them have come at DKR, Texas Memorial Stadium, right? It's not like they're doing this on the road in front of a hostile environment. So I'll piggyback off what CJ said, some of those fundamental things. In a game like this, the teams are evenly matched, and if you're Texas and you're looking to put your best foot forward and play ideally your best game of the year, playing a clean game is going to be key.
I think the last month, we're starting to see the Arch Manning that we thought we would see at the beginning of the season, right? The last 4 games, he's thrown for over 300 yards. CJ, is this the Arch Manning you thought we were going to see, just coming, unfortunately, towards November instead of in early August, late September?
It's the Arch Manning I was expecting. It's the offense I was expecting to see. Fast, spread it out, air it out. Texas tried to, early in the season, say, hey, you know what? We're going to load up with our tight ends, and we're going to look like Iowa for a little bit. And they did look like Iowa offense.
Absolutely.
But that's not who Sarkisian is, right? The all gas, no brakes mantra. I mean, where was that the first half of the season? I think only until they desperately needed it in Starkville is when they figured it out and said, okay, we like what we have with our wide receivers. We like what we have when our quarterback can sit back and throw the ball 35, 40 times a game. That's what I like about Arch Manning right now is he's letting it rip, and he's being very cautious, but also aggressive with the football. He's just protecting it. I love that.
The one thing that I've been thinking about this whole week, and I'll get into it a little bit later in my keys to the game, this wide receiving core of what Texas A&M brings to the table, they're dangerous. The key is going to be to get them on the ground. But I can also flip it over and say, I don't believe Texas A&M has seen a offense with the speed of the wide receiving core of the Texas Longhorns. So this is going to be both of their secondary's toughest matchups, I believe.
You mentioned it. That if you can't get Casey Concepcion and Mario Craver on the ground immediately, it's going to be a long day for you. And Texas over the last 3 weeks or so, I mean, they've had many struggles tackling in space. This is the most electric, dynamic wide receiver duo that Texas has played this year. The best, I still think, resides up in Columbus. But
besides those guys.
Right. But if you get these guys in space, and look, Colin Klein's going to do exactly that. I think he does a fantastic job of the quick, easy passes for Marcel Reed to make sure that these guys can get a full head of steam and get going. Texas is going to have to make sure, especially with maybe some iffiness around Anthony Hill, they're going to have to tackle in space and tackle over the middle specifically.
Yeah, again, I'll kind of piggyback off CJ's point there. And Steve Sarkisian talked about it when we asked him about some of the struggles in the secondary. He pointed to an inability to get guys on the ground immediately, catch tackle, as you emphasize. But I'll throw out something else, right? One of the things I asked post-game when we knew that Texas obviously would face A&M the next day, or next week, I should say, was eye discipline in defending Marcel Reed. I also think it's the same concept in terms of just defending the offense as a whole. Hear me out. This is the point that Texas, if they can get home with 4, right, that's going to allow the secondary not to have to, kind of put so much on their shoulders. I think that aspect is key. Now, if Marcel Reed is scrambling and he's making plays with his legs, and then you get some of those quick throws, those off-schedule plays, kind of those off-script plays, then it puts the secondary in a position where, hey, we've been covering a guy downfield for 6, 7, 8 seconds because the front 4 hasn't gotten home, and now we have to flip and then go make a tackle. That is easier said than done, right? We saw what happened last week, unfortunately, to Michael Taft. He had to try to make a tackle in space. It's tough when you've been covering someone so long, then you got to flip and do that. So to bring it all the way around, it's about defensively tying the front end with the back end. If the front end can pressure Marcel Reed and those throws are coming out quick, the secondary isn't 10, 15 yards up, the field. They can make tackles. So it all kind of ties together in my perspective.
I totally agree. The one thing that I thought was really interesting after the Arkansas game is Texas played press man on the outside a little bit more than we had seen this year. And
yes, Lord.
I know. I asked Sark the same thing. I said, hey, you recruit all these long, lengthy cornerbacks.
Yes.
Right. Where's the press man? How do you jam at the line of scrimmage if you're 7 yards off? And look, that's the gamble when you play Concepcion and Craver. Is if you miss at the line, boy, hey, you're going to hear the Aggie warn him pretty often.
Oh.
But that's also, the give and take. That's no longer a window for a quick, easy pass to let these guys go for a full head of steam. Do you trust a true freshman in a game like this and Cade Phillips? I think so. I think you say, hey, you're a 5-star kid. We recruited you. We've developed you over the last year. You're now welcome to the 5. Let's get going.
Put some help over the top, please.
Well, I just was going to say real quick, just kind of, CJ's point. At this point in the year, and this is the question I love to ask coaches, we're 11 games into the season. You don't really have true freshmen at this point, right? Like, you should be able, if you're a Cade Phillips, it's not like you're going to Ohio State or Grayson Littleton, right? You're pretty much into your sophomore year. So that, you can kind of throw that out the window. One quick point I'll also add, when you take a look at Marcel Reed, I think it's a key stat, yards per attempt, right? Excuse me, yards per completion, I should say. 14.6. He's third in the nation. Yards per attempt, only 9. You don't have to be a football expert to know that means the ball's getting out of his hands quickly and his receivers are making things happen with it.
Listening with CJ Vogel from On Texas Football. Okay, last report on Anthony Hill, he's still listed as questionable. Got a feeling he's not going to play. Anthony Smith's out for the first half. You got the 25th best rushing team in the country. How will not having Anthony Hill and Anthony Smith in the first half impact this game today?
Yeah, I mean, you want to take CJ?
No, I don't, because this is a tough question to answer. I mean,
in that sense, right? If Anthony Hill does not go, if Anthony Smith is out for the first half, you're probably looking at what? Trey Moore, who played a little bit inside last week, right? I still think it's a bit of an awkward fit as someone who covered Trey Moore back into the group of 5 level. Right. I still view him more as an edge guy. Is it Brad Spence moving inside? I still view him more as an edge guy. CJ, I don't know your thoughts there.
It's interesting because I think Arkansas kind of looked at Trey Moore as a guy that they could pick on a week ago. Sure. And I thought Texas a week ago and at the linebacking position looked a little slow, and that was even with Anthony Hill at times. And so I wonder if they spin down to Jelani McDonald and say, hey, at 6'2", 220, I mean, you have enough size, maybe not what you'd like to see at the full size, but you have the speed. And against a team like this with the speed that they have, that's what basically matters to me. Now, the question is on the back end, is it Jonah Williams? Is it Xavier Phillips to me? Right. Where's your additional answer there if you move down Jelani to the linebacker spot?
Last thing for you, CJ, score prediction?
Oh, boy.
I should have known.
You can whisper it.
I walked into a trap, huh?
It's a trap.
Yeah, no, I had A&M winning this game 38-31. I think there's going to be a lot of points. Look, the unknown about Anthony Hill concerns me, and this is just an offense where if they get going, they get these guys out in space, it's hard to stop. But what I do say, and what I do like about this offense right now, Hardge Manning.
There he is, TJ Vogel from OnTexasFootball.com. Check out his post-game coverage today on the On Texas Football YouTube channel. Brother, appreciate it.
Thank you very much for having me.
Always good,
weather.
brother.
CJ Vogel from On Texas Football will continue here live from Bevo Blvd. It's Longhorns game day, and it continues after this.
All clear.
The Coach Sark's weekly press conference live every Monday at 11 a.m.
We got to go enjoy this journey. We need to be present and then ultimately finish the mission.
Hear Coach Sark recap the prior week's games and get you ready for the Horns' next opponent.
Culture beats talent. Culture is really strong. Culture and talent together is a pretty powerful force, and that's something that we've tried to create.
Every question, every answer, every Monday, right here on your home for the Longhorns. 1300 The Zone.
At Bank of America, we asked our people, how do you take ownership of your career?
I'm able to grow my way by putting the priorities that I have for my career first.
I thrive on being a leader who's behind the team, not in front of the team.
Every few years, I'm being re-energized because I get to do something different and learn something new.
See how our teammates are growing in their careers at bankofamerica.com/great place to work. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America, proud to be an equal opportunity employer.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Severe from Vicks.
Sinex Severe nasal spray.
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Severe instantly relieves nasal congestion and works 6 times faster than nasal decongestant tablets. The 12 hours of relief allow you to get back to the moments that matter without congestion.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it. Try Sinex Severe from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
Hey, Texas fans, Craig Way here. It's time to kick off your deck project with TimberTech. A real decking all-star, TimberTech is the #1 brand in premium decking. It delivers real wood looks without the costly maintenance, and it will never rot, warp, splinter, or peel. Plus, with industry-leading warranties, you know your deck will perform at the top of its game season after season. Take a look, and you'll be hooked. Order free samples online at timbertech.com.
It's the game's final seconds, and the score is tied. But wait, another trip to the bathroom?
Don't miss the game's best moments because of frequent bathroom breaks. Introducing prostate artery embolization from ARA Diagnostic Imaging, a leader in PAE, a non-surgical treatment for enlarged prostate that helps reduce urgent urination with low risk of sexual side effects. Visit osrad.com/PAE to take a quick self-assessment. ARA, leaders in medical imaging.
Life in Austin moves fast. Work deadlines, weekend plans, and more errands than you can count. Feeling stretched thin? With AirTasker, getting help is easy. Post your task, set your price, and let local taskers handle the rest. Whether it's tackling a quick fix or finally checking off that big project you haven't had time for, AirTasker has you covered. Download AirTasker today or visit us at airtasker.com and spend less time juggling tasks and more time enjoying your life. AirTasker. Get anything done.
The world needs Sesame Street. And right now, Sesame needs you. Donate today at sesame.org/iHeart. That's SESAME.org/iHeart.
Elmo loves you. Thanks for making a difference.
The only thing between you and your best self is a start button. This Black Friday, explore the world with Nordic Track. From the peaks of Peru to the streets of Paris, every workout moves you somewhere new with iFit trainers leading the way. The equipment's amazing, smooth, quiet, and those screens make it all feel real. Ready to start your next workout adventure with the #1 treadmill brand in the U.S.? Shop NordicTrack.com for Black Friday savings. Nordic Track. Train anywhere, explore everywhere.
At In-N-Out, our hamburgers are made with the highest quality ingredients. Made fresh and by hand. Made with a smile to put a smile on your face. Made for special occasions or no occasion at all. Made with gratitude for every customer we get to serve. Most of all, every hamburger, cheeseburger, and double-double is made to order just for you.
That's what hamburgers all about.
Okay, Texas, pop quiz. True or false? Walmart has more than 500 million items online. True. Find a huge selection online that you can't find in stores. True or false? Groceries always cost more when they're delivered. False. Walmart's grocery prices are the same for delivery as they are in store. Last one. Walmart can deliver in as fast as an hour. True, y'all. Use Express Delivery to get eligible items to your doorstep before the pool party starts. Walmart. Who knew? Subject to availability. Fees and restrictions apply.
It is tough to go outside these days. Hey, that's understandable given how hot it is. But there is definitely a way to beat the heat. A trip to Inner Space Caverns in Georgetown. Inner Space Caverns is a great place to take the family. You'd be amazed at all of the beautiful formations, large rooms, prehistoric animal bones, and all kinds of creations with a truly unique discovery story right here in the Austin area in the year-round temperature of a very comfortable 72 degrees. You can check out the super exciting saber-tooth zip ride or pan for gemstones. Take the wild cave tour or the hidden passages tour. And there's a great souvenir gift shop and newly remodeled restrooms. Get out of the house, but get out of the heat and get some fresh air underground. Inner Space Caverns, right off I-35 at exit 259 in Georgetown. That's Inner Space Caverns. For more details, check them out on the web at innerspacecaverns.com. Inner Space Caverns. Check it out. Your adventure awaits.
Texas Gun Shows, the largest gun show in Texas, is headed back to Buda this weekend. Texas Gun Shows, voted the #1 gun show in Texas, will be at the Central Texas Fieldhouse just off Interstate 35 in Buda this Saturday 10 till 5 and Sunday 10 till 4. Hundreds of tables of guns, free parking, and no toll road. Do not miss it. Plus, special guest, the TGS Calendar Girls will be on site selling Texas Gun Show calendars with tons of discounts inside. This weekend at the Central Texas Fieldhouse in Buda. For more info, visit gunshowstx.com. Texas Gun Shows, making gun shows guns again.
World Cup ski racing returns. Don't miss Michaela Schifrin and the world's best at the Stiefel Copper Cup, Copper Mountain, November 27th through 30th. An Olympic qualifier on NBC and CNBC, November 29th through 30th.
Welcome back to Longhorns Game Day with Cameron Parker, Mike Hardball Hardge, and Mark Henry.
Mike's up.
Circle next to the food trucks in Big Beer to Cameron Parker alongside Mike Hardball Hardge for Longhorns Game Day as Texas closes out the regular season. Okay, let's get you guys a DJC Law injury update. In the big news, we're still awaiting whether or not Anthony Hill will be a go or no-go. Again, dealing with that boxer's fracture and other undisclosed ailments that have kept them out of action since that Georgia game. Now, inside Texas saying he is not expected to play in tonight's game. Again, the SEC media availability, which will drop in about 30 minutes or so, the final disclosure. He's still listed as questionable, and of course, Anthony Smith out for the first half after that targeting call at Texas did appeal it. He was not successful. So, Hardge, Texas looking at playing one of the best rushing teams in the country without Anthony Hill, who is your best tackler, your best run game stopping linebacker, and then also Anthony Smith. It's going to be a tough task for PK, but also now it's that next man up mentality. Texas needs the Brad Spences, the Trey Moores, John Lonnie McDonald's to step up.
Yeah, and that's the other part about this. That's why you come to a school like the University of Texas, because you provide a lot of depth. And as that depth continues to develop, at this point, we've heard it from everybody. You're no longer a freshman. You're no longer a new player on the squad. You played in a bunch of games, and now is your opportunity to play on the biggest stage, standalone football game when it comes to Texas versus Texas A&M.
Let's get you guys a scoreboard update before our next break. The big one right now, Georgia and Georgia Tech. Number 4, Georgia leading number 23, Georgia Tech 13-3 at halftime. That's a game which Texas probably needs to be rooting for. Georgia, of course, Texas lost to Georgia 2 weeks ago. And Georgia Tech, number 23, but 9-2 right there. You win 10-2, you win the ACC. All of a sudden, that's a bid stealer. And even if you're at 9-3 with a 10-3 rather with an ACC championship loss and a win over Georgia, that could squeeze Texas out of the playoff if the Texas Longhorns do win today. And then earlier, the Egg Bowl, Ole Miss knocking off Mississippi State 38-19, in which maybe Lane Kiffin's last regular season game as the head coach of the Rebels. It appears right now he's down between staying at Ole Miss or going to LSU. A meltdown in Gainesville this morning as the Gator fans realize their next head coach will not be Lane Kiffin, but also the Texas Longhorns. Games to watch out for tomorrow, Mike Hardge, Ohio State, Michigan. Probably need to root for the Buckeyes, Miami and Pittsburgh. Probably rooting for Pittsburgh to win that game. And then 2 big ones, LSU, Oklahoma, Auburn, Alabama. You're looking for 2 upset wins. LSU, the win over Oklahoma, and Auburn to beat Bama for Texas to be able to get into the college football playoff.
Yeah, it's at that time. And that's the one thing that obviously, as a Texas Longhorn fan, you did not want to have to wait for someone else. You wanted to write your own ship. You wanted to be in control of your own destiny. And at one point you did have that. Now you're waiting for others to finish out their ball game. So we'll see what ends up happening moving forward tonight.
Well, first things first, got to win tonight. Texas against Texas A&M to close out the regular season. Kickoff 6:44 p.m. Central Time. Network coverage begins 5:30 right here on The Zone, also on 98.1 KBET. Greg Way, Roger Wallace, and Will Matthews will have the call. This is Longhorns Game Day. We're live on Bevo Blvd up until 5:30 p.m. Still a lot more to come. Bob Ballou from CBS Austin will stop by. Going to get Mike Hardge's keys to the game. And also UT women's basketball head coach Vic Schaefer, back from Las Vegas, will join us here in the next hour. It's Longhorns Game Day, and it continues after this.
All clear.
Our hamburgers are made with the highest quality ingredients, made fresh and by hand.
Hey.
Smile to put a smile on your face. Made for special occasions or no occasion at all. Made with gratitude for every customer we get to serve. Most of all, every hamburger, cheeseburger, and double is made to order just for you.
That's what hamburgers all about.
At Leaf Johnson Ford in Austin, Manor, and Buda,
You'll love it at Leaf.
That's right, you'll love it. At any Leaf Johnson location, what you see is what you pay, with no hidden add-ons. We're here to help you through the entire process in person at one of our 3 locations, or we'll bring it to you and do the entire transaction online.
You'll love it at Leaf.
Visit one of our 3 locations in Austin, Buda, or Manor, or online at leafjohnsonford.com.
You'll love it at Leaf.
Nobody does happy hour like Twin Peaks. From tequila cocktails to top shelf spirits and 29-degree drinks. Their drink menu is stacked. Bourbons, craft beers, ice balls, and so much more. Cheers to the adventure. Make sure you stop by Twin Peaks today.
Hey, Texas fans, Craig Way here. It's time to kick off your deck project with TimberTech, a real decking all-star. TimberTech is the #1 brand in premium decking. It delivers real wood looks without the costly maintenance, and it will never rot, warp, splinter, or peel. Plus, with industry-leading warranties, you know your deck will perform at the top of its game season after season. Take a look, and you'll be hooked. Order free samples online at timbertech.com.
It's the game's final seconds, and the score is tied. But wait, another trip to the bathroom?
Don't miss the game's best moments because of frequent bathroom breaks. Introducing prostate artery embolization from ARA Diagnostic Imaging, a leader in PAE, a non-surgical treatment for enlarged prostate that helps reduce urgent urination with low risk of sexual side effects. Visit osrad.com/PAE to take a quick self-assessment. ARA, leaders in medical imaging.
Hey, Texas football fans, Mike Hardge here, and we're in for an exciting season. Thomas J. Henry Law is thrilled to be part of the action with Texas football game broadcasts. The athletes give it their all on the field, and Thomas J. Henry and over 250 attorneys give it their all when it comes to helping you and your family get the justice you deserve. Whether it's on the field or in the courtroom, dedication, strategy, and teamwork are crucial. For over 30 years, Thomas J. Henry Law has been committed to securing meaningful results for injured people and their families. After all, their law firm will be nothing without the communities and the individuals they serve. Visit tjhlaw.com to find out more. If you or a loved one have been injured, attorneys are available 24/7 to help. They have a reputation and resources to handle any case. Free consultations with no fees collected unless they win for you. Let's get into the Texas football action this season, sponsored by Thomas J. Henry Law. On and off the field, it's all about the win.
The world needs Sesame Street. And right now, Sesame needs you. Donate today at sesame.org/iHeart. That's SESAME.org/iHeart.
Elmo loves you. Thanks for making a difference.
Okay, Texas, pop quiz. True or false? Walmart has more than 500 million items online. True. Find a huge selection online that you can't find in stores. True or false? Groceries always cost more when they're delivered. False. Walmart's grocery prices are the same for delivery as they are in store. Last one. Walmart can deliver in as fast as an hour. True, y'all. Use express delivery to get eligible items to your doorstep before the pool party starts. Walmart. Who knew? Subject to availability. Fees and restrictions apply.
Life in Austin moves fast. Work deadlines, weekend plans, and more errands than you can count. Feeling stretched thin? With AirTasker, getting help is easy. Post your tasks, set your price, and let local taskers handle the rest. Whether it's tackling a quick fix or finally checking off that big project you haven't had time for, AirTasker has you covered. Download AirTasker today or visit us at airtasker.com and spend less time juggling tasks and more time enjoying your life. AirTasker. Get anything done.
Longhorn Nation, Texas women's basketball is back at Moody Center starting November 3rd. Another record season ticket sales. Single game tickets are limited, so secure your seats now. And help us make Moody Center the best home court advantage in the nation. Be a part of an electric night of basketball as the Longhorns have their eyes set on another run to the women's Final Four. Visit TexasLonghorns.com to grab your tickets today. That's TexasLonghorns.com.
Get ready. World Cup ski racing is back on U.S. snow. The Stiefel Copper Cup, presented by United Airlines, hits Copper Mountain, Colorado, November 27th through 30th. Watch the best ski racers in the world, including your favorite Stiefel U.S. ski team athletes like Michaela Schifrin, battle it out for glory and a spot on the 2026 Olympic team. Catch all the action from this Olympic qualifier on
Here we go.
NBC, November 29th and 30th.
Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone presents Longhorns Game Day.
And he plows forward for a Longhorn touchdown. Leans forward, touchdown Texas.
Join Cameron Parker, Mike Hardball Hardge, and Mark Henry all season long. The Longhorns play here. We are live from Hookem Hangout. This is Longhorns Game Day. Now here are your hosts, Cameron Parker, Mike Hardball Hardge, and Mark Henry.
Mike's up.
We're about 2 hours away from kickoff between Texas and Texas A&M for the first time in 15 years. The Texas A&M Aggies will be playing a football game in Austin, Texas, and the second time since the Longhorns joined the SEC. All-time, Texas leads this rivalry, 77 wins, 37 losses, in 5 ties. Of course, Texas winning last year 17-7 in their return to Kyle Field. Last time A&M played here, they did win 24-17, a game in which Garrett Gilbert had, I think, about 7 interceptions. Ryan Tannehill and the Aggies went on to win that game, but hoping for a different result here. Cameron Parker alongside Mike Hardball Hardge here. 1 more hour to go on our pregame show. Of course, we still have Bob Ballou from CBS Austin, and hoping to visit with Texas women's basketball head coach Vic Schaefer, who, of course, went to A&M, coached at A&M, and now the head coach at Texas, and they had 2 huge wins this week. But Hardge, first off, looking at today's game, let's get your keys to a Texas victory.
My keys to a Texas victory are brought to you by the world famous Yellow Rose. Make sure you get over there and get that bone-in Angus ribeye, and of course, all your watch party needs. The Texas secondary will be tested today like never before. The wide receivers at A&M have shown to be probably the most talented group that they've seen since Ohio State. The way that they have to wrap up on that first contact is going to be hugely important. Concepcion is a terror with the ball in his hands, and it's not necessarily just through the air. They get it to him on reverses, they get it to him on handoffs, and they also have him in special teams. So it's imperative for this young Texas secondary to be able to wrap up right away. My keys to the game is not only get him down by the first contact, but the second contact, the third contact, he must get down on the ground. We've already heard it. Both our guy Eric Henry of Horns 247 and, of course, our guy CJ Vogel of On Texas Football. They all said the same thing during the conversation. Texas has to wrap up and get those guys on the ground. If they don't get them on the ground, it could be a long day for this Texas secondary. You brought it up. We're not sure what's going to happen with Anthony Hill Jr. We're still waiting to find out. We should probably find that out in about 15 minutes or so. But you still have to understand that if he's not there, with Ty Anthony Smith being out, that's going to be even more pressure on that Texas secondary, making sure that they get guys down on the ground immediately.
And Hardge, we've seen defensive breakdowns. We saw it against Georgia in that fourth quarter, breakdowns from guys like Michael Tapp, Malik Muhammad, the senior leaders. And we've seen some very, very poor tackling. We saw it last week against Arkansas.
Yes.
Now, Texas able to score 52 points against Razorbacks. I'm not sure if they can score 50 against A&M. So it goes back to your point. You got to be able to wrap up defensively. A&M averaged 195 yards per game. That's 25th in the country. Texas right now allowing Texas last week without Anthony Hill allowed 188 yards, a season high on the ground. 6.1 yards per carry, a season high on the ground. Allowed 3 rushing touchdowns, a season high. So coming off their worst game defensively in terms of stopping the run, now you're playing the third best rushing team in the SEC. Oh, and by the way, no Anthony Hill and Anthony Smith's out for the first half. So you got to be able to wrap up, because if you're not able to get great pressure in the line of scrimmage, now to the second level, hey, there's no Anthony Hill, no Anthony Smith to wrap up. Now it falls on your DBs, your secondaries, and you never want to play in a game where your leading tacklers are your secondary.
Well, it's going to be interesting to me, too, is because I want to see how Texas is going to approach this game if those guys are not going to be able to play. One thing's for sure, Ty Anthony Smith, we won't see him until the second half. He's probably one of your more athletic linebackers. We talked about his weight last week, about how light he is, but he's very physical in that box. So now you're looking at Anthony Hill Jr., who may not be back again, and that's going to cause some problems. You talked about the rushing yards that they gave up, going up against a top-ranked rushing attack at Texas A&M. Get the guy on the ground after the first tackle. Most of the guys, you know as well as I do, they want to shake, they want to rattle, they want to roll. But you have to come in with your head down, locked into their chest, and making sure that you get those guys down on the ground, because you can't deal with broken tackles all day long. It could be very, very bad if you keep letting those guys explode towards the secondary.
In the 2 games that A&M struggled the most in terms of running the football, Notre Dame and South Carolina, the 2 games they almost lost, only averaged about 2.2 yards per carry against South Carolina. They came back down 30-0 in that game. Against Notre Dame, a game they won on 4th and goal at the very end, only 4 yards per carry. So the key to beating A&M is you stop the run, enforce Marcel Reed to beat you. And by the way, Marcel Reed, he is very turnover prone.
Yeah, that's something that we've been talking about all week long. He will give it to you. I was just talking to a former player, and he was like, he will give us the football, but now you got to make sure you do something with it when you do get the football.
Let's hear from Steve Sarkisian as he speaks on the significance of this rivalry, the difficulty that the Longhorns face today against Texas A&M.
This should be a great ball game. You know, when you think about this as a 120th meeting between Texas and Texas A&M and the Cotton Holdings Lone Star Showdown, and it's awesome. it was great to play them last year and renewing the rivalry and going to Kyle Field, and now to have A&M back here in DKR for the first time since 2010. 15 years ago was the last time they were here. I think is great for the rivalry. I know our fans are excited about it. I'm sure their fans are excited about it, but I know our players are too. It's a heck of a challenge. It's a really good football team, and they're really good in all three phases. Defensively, the numbers are pretty startling. When you look at the third down defense, the sacks, the tackles for loss, you look at the explosive play ability that they have on offense with Marcel Reed, the variety of runners, and then obviously the receiving core with Concepcion and Craver leading the way. But then they got a lot of really good receivers that are making plays. The tight ends are making plays. And then on special teams, they got electric return game with Bussy and Concepcion and kickoff and punt return. So ton of credit to A&M and the job they've done to be undefeated up to this point. I think Coach Elko's done a fantastic job. Got a ton of respect for him and the way he's built that program.
It's going to take a lot for Texas to beat A&M today, but it's going to take all three bases to show up and play well for them to be able to knock off the Texas A&M. Someone who knows a lot about this rivalry, head coach Vic Schaefer, who will be joining us up next year as Longhorns Game Day, live from Bevo Blvd, continues after this.
In their inaugural in the SEC, the Texas Longhorns made history.
For the first time in 22 years, the Texas women are headed for the Final Four.
Now, they're back to finish what they started.
Oh, Betsy's!
Marvin will hoist it from half court and makes it. Listen to Texas women's basketball all season long on 1300 The Zone. Your home for the Horns.
Heating and air and plumbing, call us because we care.
Chris and Kyle here. We're Elite AC and Plumbing, the local guys. We install American Standard heating and air conditioning. Fall is here, it's hot, it's cold. Who knows? Make sure your system is ready for fall. Call us for your home and commercial needs.
American Standard Elite heating and air and plumbing, call us because we care.
Target's Black Friday deals are delivering big surprises all week long, like 40 to 50% off top holiday gifts, plus thousands more deals in-store and online, all with free shipping. Load up on all the season's must-haves with huge deals on tech, video games, toys, floor care, clothing for the family, and so much more. Hurry! These deals are going fast. 40 to 50% off gifts and Saturday. Only at Target. Free shipping applies to orders over $35.
At Henna Chevrolet, the price you see is the price you get. Like a 2025 Chevy Silverado 1500 LT with $15,000 off MSRP. No required dealer accessories when you arrive. No market adjustments. And we have over 40 lenders competing for your business. And when banks compete, you save. That's why Henna is Austin's favorite Chevy dealership. For a lower price made easy. Together, let's drive at Henna Chevrolet or Henna.com.
Hey, bro, weirdest thing is happening at the game. This guy sitting next to me says, "You're our good luck charm. Every time I crack a Bud Light, we score a touchdown." Now his entire family wants to buy me Bud Lights. I think I'm some kind of a football prophet. Talk soon. The team needs me.
Anything for Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Stock up today. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2025 Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Every year, more than 2,000 volunteers join the Salvation Army's Angel Tree program to make Christmas bright for over 7,000 local kids. So grab your friends, your coworkers, your small group, and help give the gift of joy this season. Your gift stays local, and it's matched dollar for dollar. Be one of those that helps provide Christmas gifts for hundreds of Austin kids. Volunteer, adopt an angel, or donate today at SalvationArmyAustin.org. Let's show what Austin can do when we give together.
At Bank of America, we asked our teammates, what makes this company a great place to work?
There's very little that you can't accomplish working for Bank of America.
If you prove yourself, you can try over in a totally new way.
You can learn so much here. You're the owner of your career.
See how our teammates are growing in their careers at bankofamerica.com/greatplace-to-work. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America, proud to be an equal opportunity employer.
It's football season, and whether you're fueling up at halftime or feeding the whole team at home, Tumble 22 brings the heat. Kick off lunch with a crispy hot chicken sandwich stacked with pickles. And if you sneak a slice of peanut butter pie, we'll call that a win. Family dinner? We've got tenders the kids love, sides that score big, and family packs starting at just $25.99. Game plan for the weekend? Cold drinks, scratch-made sides, and hot chicken fried fresh every time. Tumble 22 Texas hot chicken done right. Good food, good people, game day flavor.
When I wake up
The best mornings
in the morning light,
start with Wrangler.
I put on my jeans and I feel alright.
Jeans, jackets, and shirts that get your day started on the foot.
I put my blue jeans on. I put my blue jeans on.
Good mornings make for better days.
I put my blue jeans on. I put my blue jeans on.
Wrangler. Long live Cowboys. Available at Cavenders.
It is tough to go outside these days. Hey, that's understandable given how hot it is. But there is definitely a way to beat the heat. A trip to Inner Space Caverns in Georgetown. Inner Space Caverns is a great place to take the family. You'd be amazed at all of the beautiful formations, large rooms, prehistoric animal bones, and all kinds of creations with a truly unique discovery story. Right here in the Austin area in the year-round temperature of a very comfortable 72 degrees. You can check out the super exciting Sabertooth Zip Ride or Pan for Gemstones. Take the Wild Cave Tour or the Hidden Passages Tour. There's a great souvenir gift shop and newly remodeled restrooms. Get out of the house, but get out of the heat and get some fresh air underground. Inner Space Caverns, right off I-35 at exit 259 in Georgetown. That's Inner Space Caverns. For more details, check them out on the web at innerspacecaverns.com. Inner Space Caverns. Check it out. Your adventure awaits.
Texas Gun Shows, the largest gun show in Texas, is headed back to Buda this weekend. Texas Gun Shows, voted the #1 gun show in Texas, will be at the Central Texas Fieldhouse just off Interstate 35 in Buda this Saturday 10 till 5 and Sunday 10 till 4. Hundreds of tables of guns, free parking, and no toll road. Do not miss it. Plus, special guest at TGS Calendar Girls will be on site selling Texas Gun Show calendars with tons of discounts inside. This weekend at the Central Texas Fieldhouse in Buda. For more info, visit gunshowstx.com. Texas Gun Shows, making gun shows guns again.
This winter, the world will be watching the best skaters chase their Olympic dreams. For your child, that dream could start right here at your local rink. Through Learn to Skate USA, kids build strength, confidence, and courage, the same qualities that take athletes to the Olympic ice. Learn to Skate USA offers programs for skaters of all ages and abilities. This is where the journey begins. Find a program near you at learntosskateusa.com.
Here we go.
Every champion starts with a first glide.
Welcome back to Longhorns Game Day with Cameron Parker, Mike Hardball Hardge, and Mark Henry.
Mike's up.
We continue live from Bevo Blvd. It's Longhorns Game Day. Cameron Parker alongside Mike Hardball Hardge in Longhorn Nation out in full effect right now. I see a little maroon. They've come out.
A little. There's a lot of maroon running around this doggone thing.
Also, a lot of burnt
there
orange.
they go. There, a ton of burnt orange. Ton of burnt orange.
It's going to be one of the more cooler games here at DKR this season. Currently, right now, just over 60 degrees, 67 at the moment. Real feel about 63 degrees for kickoff. We'll drop down mid-60s. By the time this game ends, it'll be 50 degrees. Hardball, this is what I call perfect football weather.
I mean, I don't understand that. I've never understood what perfect football weather is. I don't get that. It's whatever you're playing in. That's football weather. If you
there is a perfect football weather. It's like if you're out in the backyard throwing the pigskin around, this is what you want. You don't want to be 98 degrees and sweating too much.
I guess.
What was perfect baseball weather for you?
Not 98 degrees.
Exactly. So we can agree on that.
Not 98 degrees. But yeah, I get you. I know it's good for the fans because they're not out here dying from the heat of it all. They're not too cold. You can come out and just enjoy the ball game, and hopefully we're on the right side of the victory.
Well, while we have what I say perfect weather, you're almost going to need a perfect game from Texas against the number 3 rated Texas A&M Aggies. 11-0 this season, have big wins, including one over Notre Dame in South Bend earlier this season. Came down the 4th and goal. Marcel Reed has been clutch all season, making clutch plays all year long. But we heard Sark talk about it the last segment. Third downs will be a huge part of this game, Hardge. And looking at third down defense for Texas, they've been okay this year. A&M, by the way, the best third down defense in the country. They only allow a conversion rate of 24% nationally. Now, on the road, that does jump up to 35%. Texas offensively converting about 40%, so 46% at home, 55th in the nation. So we've seen Texas early in the season struggle with third downs, but gradually they've gotten better. But this will be a big third down game today.
Yeah, this is what you want to make sure that you get Texas A&M off the field, and you want to continue to stay on the field if you're the offense for the Texas Longhorns. One of the biggest things for this Texas Longhorn team that has been really clicking on all cylinders is the fact that Arch Manning has been able to grow up right before our very eyes, whether it's understanding I don't have to run every single time to try to go get a first down. I can extend with my legs and try to find the open receiver. But he has been crucial in certain run situations where he can get a first down. So this is going to be a challenge. I wonder what A&M is going to do when it comes to Arch Manning, because he could be one of the hottest quarterbacks in college football at this particular time.
Well, hey, 3 of his last 4 games, Arch Manning has thrown for 300 yards this season. Texas 3-0 in those games. A&M, by the way, has not allowed a 300-yard passer yet this season, but the 2 times they got pretty close to allowing one, they've nearly lost. Lenore Sellers, South Carolina, and then Riley Card, Notre Dame. So I don't know, Arch, if Arch Manning can play the way he did last week, if he's able to run and pass, maybe even catch a touchdown, that could be a key success to bringing down A&M today.
Well, they did put that in the playbook,
Yeah.
so now A&M had to prepare for that. But the way that he's been able to evolve as a quarterback has been something that we've all talked about from the very beginning. We watched that very first pass that he threw against Ohio State, and we were like, is this your king? Is this your king? And now all of a sudden, you're starting to see that guy that we thought we were going to see. And as C.J. Vogel talked about too, we're starting to see the offense that we thought we were going to see. Texas will need to try to find a way to run the ball to stay more effective, to be able to give Arch a little bit more time, because if you can't run play action and you don't have the ability to run the football, it changes everything as we go.
Well, one man who knows a lot about this rivalry is head coach Vic Schaefer, and he's ready to join us now. Of course, he graduated from Texas A&M. He coached at A&M. Now he's here at Texas. First of all, Coach, thanks so much for the time. And, hey, your program is the first team to defeat a top 3 opponent in back-to-back days in 25 years. So first off, congrats on the victory. What a week for you and the girls.
Pretty special week, huh? Huh? Number 3 one day, 24 hours later, number 2. I couldn't be prouder, man. Those kids are special. Those they did something that's really hard to do, and we did it with 3 kids that are, injured. We had really 7 players in our rotation, and all 3 of my starting guards went 40 minutes back to back. You're up 20 at halftime on the number 3 team in the country. You go toe-to-toe and with South Carolina yesterday and get down 8 in the third quarter and find a way to get that thing done. So, man, those kids are special, y'all. I'm telling you, I got a really special group. They're great kids, but, man, they're competitive. I mean, they have a competitive spirit about them. They did not flinch yesterday. And, I learned a lot about my team on that trip.
Well, the one thing that I learned is that Rory Harmon seems to be free again. We've talked to you about her and that knee brace and how she eventually got out of it. And it was just taking her a little bit more time than normal for her to go back to that Rory that we've all expected to see. But not only is she scoring, now she's the all-time leading assist guard in the university's history. That's a pretty special day, too, when she gets that and the MVP of the tournament.
Well, you got it. You just said, she's the all-time assist player in the history of the University of Texas, and hopefully we got a bunch of games still left. And so that record's going to be untouchable. And then she's the only player in the history of the University of Texas to score 1,200 points and have over 700 assists.
Wow.
She's now in the top 5 in steals. The kid is special, but like I always say, she doesn't get that by osmosis. That kid lives in the gym. She works at it. We have a saying in our locker room, the game's real fair. You get out of it what you put into it. And that kid has really invested in her going on 5 years here. she just pours into it. You know, her and Booker, they're the first ones in every day. And last ones out a lot of times. And that's why they're who they are. And if you're going to be a lead at anything, you got to be all in. And those two are all in. And what happens is that spreads to the rest of your team. So when you talk about our culture, you know, it's always a hot word, hot topic. It isn't something you put up on the wall. It's how you live, eat, breathe, and sleep. And those kids, by how they carry themselves and handle themselves, you know, we just signed the #1 recruiting class in the country.
She did.
Every one of those kids talks about, hey, I know we might not get to play with Rory, but I've had multiple dads say, I want my kid to play with Booker. I want them to be around her for 1 year. That's all they're going to get.
Right.
But I want them to see what it looks like to be a pro. You know, a pro, not necessarily in basketball, but just a pro in how they carry themselves each and every day. So it's really special. It's a good group now. I'm telling you, they got a chance. We got to get some kids healthy, and we will. It may not be for 2 to 6 weeks, but we get some kids back and get them healthy, they'll have a chance.
You have 2 sophomores that have played so well, Justice Carlton and Jordan Lee. Obviously, they were key players last year, but it feels like this past summer they took a next step.
You know, in basketball, the most improvement you make is between your freshman and sophomore year. And those two, Jordan Lee obviously has made a big jump, but it's another USA kid, right? She's played on those USA teams. And Justice, just like Rory, last year, it's her first year back from a pretty traumatic injury with an ACL. So she's just trying to get comfortable again, get strong again, and get the game feel back. And it takes some time. So now they're both in that year after they've shed the brace. They like it. I'm not sure I do, but you know, they've shed the brace, and so now they're back to their old self. I think Justice was big yesterday. She went up against an All-American and played pretty well, 13 and 8.
Yep.
And 6 offensive rebounds and
had a scare at one point and came right back into the game.
Yep, no doubt. She came out. I mean, all of that scares me. And, you know, she came out, sat down, and, I mean, we hadn't even started the next possession. The coach was hollering, hey, Justice is ready. I'm like, how's she ready? She just came out. They said she's ready to go. So we got her back in, you know, within one dead ball. And so kid played really good. And that's, again, that's the kid that we thought we were getting, you know, when we signed her. So I think she was #6 kid in the country. Right. I mean, she is a tough, physical kid. And yesterday she went to work. It was fun to watch.
No doubt, no doubt. Coach, I wanted to ask you this because obviously you played against South Carolina, you played against UCLA. You had those early games at Moody to kind of figure out where your team is. What did you learn about your basketball team against these 2 top-ranked teams while you were in Las Vegas?
I mean, I think the #1 thing is their competitive spirit is just off the chart. Like those kids, it doesn't matter, hey, we're down to 7, you know, or we're down to 9, but really 7 that play. We're good enough. And that's what I tried to tell them. Hell, they get mad at me when I take them out of a game when you got 12 people available. Well, now you don't have to worry about it. Right. And so, you know, I had to remind them of that a little bit, that, hey, you don't have to worry about me getting you. Of course, they're always using that as, okay, Coach, we played 40 minutes, dude. Can we work out maybe a little less today, or can shoot around be a little less long? But, you know, they know how to play all the angles now. But, you know, that the thing is they were just, look, when they came out and smacked UCLA, had them down 20 at half. I mean, they were playing, they were guarding, defending, really making it uncomfortable. And UCLA's good, well coached, got an All-American at 5. We took that kid and she had 8 points against us.
Right.
And but our kids just did a tremendous job. UCLA's going to win a bunch of games, might be back in the Final Four again. Corey's a heck of a coach, but I'm just telling you, our kids were really locked in. We had 4 days to prepare. And so you beat them, and now you kind of feel like, okay, we're on house money a little bit. Right. Because you know, this time of year, it's November. You know, if you can go in there and play #2 and #3, and okay, what if you go 1-1? It's not the end of the world. Right. Hell, even if you go 0-2, you're going to learn about your team, right? Well, then you get a little greedy.
Absolutely.
And my kids are greedy, like, and their coaches too. I'm like, okay. We found out a little bit about ourselves yesterday. They cut it to 4. We answered, win by 11. Now let's see. You want a shot at the team that knocked you out last year in the Final Four? We split with them in the regular season, got beat in the championship game of the SEC tournament. Here we go, and they're like, Coach, give us the plan. We'll go again. And so my kids are real. I got a real cerebral team. They really know the game. They pay attention in film. They bring their notebooks. They take notes. And so we had a great film session after the game against UCLA. Came back the next morning at breakfast, another good film session, had a good shoot around. You never know how they're going to respond leg-wise, but, I mean, we play in that SEC tournament where you got to play 3 in a row.
Right.
And the second day has never been a problem, but it's November. It in March. And so, boy, I tell you, when I thought we had a shot with 5 minutes to go, they had gone up 8. We cut it to 4 to begin the fourth quarter. With 5 to go, I looked at my group. I said, I tell you what, I think they might be a little tired on that other end. I said, I think you guys are hitting your stride. And Booker looks at me and says, Coach, we got this. Oh. Well, that's what you want. You want to look in their eyes. And when I looked in their eyes, and Rory and Jordan and Madison, those are the guards out there chasing their guards around all night. They ain't down there in the paint laying on somebody. When you can look in those kids' eyes and they're saying that, and you look at it and see it, you got something special. And from there, they brought it home. I mean, it's hard, man. Winning's hard. Beating those teams, well coached, all Americans all over the floor. I mean, I know it's November, but I will not diminish what those kids did in November. Hadn't been done in 25 years.
Absolutely. That's awesome.
No doubt. Coach, you have such a unique perspective on this rivalry. Obviously, you graduated from A&M. You coached there for 9 seasons. Now you're here in Austin. What does this rivalry mean to you, and how excited are you to have it back?
Well, I think it's the greatest rivalry in all of college athletics. I mean, I've been grew up on the other side. I've sat in Memorial Stadium. In the old days, there was 50 rows in that stadium in the upper deck. I've been on the 48th row on Thanksgiving night with icicles hanging from my baseball cap and looking at the colonel going, hey, it's 38-3. Can we go? And he's like, nope. Where he was not going to be a 2%er. Well, nowadays, that tradition's out the door over there. But for us, that was something that my father lived by. And trust me, there was some lean years in the 60s and early 70s for him. Now you look at it and we get this rivalry back, and there's just so much. To me, it's what's right. It makes our state complete. 2 great schools, great universities, but man, you talk about competitive spirit now, both of them, they've got it. And so it's really good to see it. Hey, my guys tonight, my guys are Sark. My guys are that staff and those guys, and I'll be pulling like hell for them. I'll be on the sideline with them, and I'm excited for them because, again, it's one of the great traditions in all of athletics, and to get it back, it just makes our state complete, really. And I've got friends on both sides. I'm really fortunate, obviously. I've seen it on both sides, but it's really, to me, it's the best rivalry in all of athletics.
Coach, thanks for the time. We really appreciate it. Congrats on your 2 wins in Las Vegas.
Yeah, thanks.
Let's get that party started. Let's get it party started.
Praise the Lord and hook 'em horns.
Head coach Vic Schaefer, the number 4 Texas Longhorns, who won't be number 4 much longer. Thanks to Vic Schaefer. Up next, Bob Ballou from CBS Austin joins us. It's Longhorns Game Day live from Bevo Blvd.
Okay.
Consultation Studio, Sports Radio.
Hello? Hello.
Gratitude, Texas Pride, and Black Friday big savings all month long at Covert Chevy in Hutto. Right now, get $12,090 off of MSRP on a new 2025 Chevy Silverado 1500 Custom. Yep, no waiting till the end of the month. The deals are already here. Powerful trucks, hometown hospitality, and savings worth being thankful for. That's Covert Chevy Hutto right off of 79. CovertChevyHutto.com. Together, let's drive.
The only thing between you and your best self is the start button.
This Black Friday, explore the world with Nordic Trek. From the peaks of Peru to the streets of Paris, every workout moves you somewhere new with iFit trainers leading the way. The equipment's amazing, smooth, quiet, and those screens make it all feel real. Ready to start your next workout adventure with the #1 treadmill brand in the U.S.? Shop NordicTrack.com for Black Friday savings. Nordic Trek. Train anywhere, explore everywhere.
Hey, Texas fans, Craig Way here. It's time to kick off your deck project with TimberTech. A real decking all-star, TimberTech is the #1 brand in premium decking. It delivers real wood looks without the costly maintenance, and it will never rot, warp, splinter, or peel. Plus, with industry-leading warranties, you know your deck will perform at the top of its game season after season. Take a look, and you'll be hooked. Order free samples online at timbertech.com.
It's the game's final seconds, and the score is tied. But wait, another trip to the bathroom?
Don't miss the game's best moments because of frequent bathroom breaks. Introducing prostate artery embolization from ARA Diagnostic Imaging, a leader in PAE, a non-surgical treatment for enlarged prostate that helps reduce urgent urination with low risk of sexual side effects. Visit osrad.com/PAE to take a quick self-assessment. ARA, leaders in medical imaging.
Thomas J. Henry is a proud radio broadcast sponsor of the University of Texas Sports. If you were seriously hurt in an accident, it's important to act fast. Call Thomas J. Henry, the name you know, the firm you trust. San Antonio and Austin, Texas.
The world needs Sesame Street. And right now, Sesame needs you. Donate today at sesame.org/iHeart. That's SESAME.org/iHeart.
Elmo loves you. Thanks for making a difference.
At In-N-Out, we like to think of ourselves as the vintage muscle car of burgers. After all, both are handcrafted, made with an appreciation for every detail. One with the finest materials, the other with the freshest ingredients. And seeing either one brings a smile to your face. Muscle cars and double doubles are all American classics, and both are gone in seconds.
Okay, Texas, pop quiz. True or false? Walmart has more than 500 million items online. True. Find a huge selection online that you can't find in stores. True or false? Groceries always cost more when they're delivered. False. Walmart's grocery prices are the same for delivery as they are in store. Last one. Walmart can deliver in as fast as an hour. True, y'all. Use express delivery to get eligible items to your doorstep before the pool party starts. Walmart. Who knew? Subject to availability. Fees and restrictions apply.
Big news, Texas. The Silencer Shop showroom is now open in Liberty Hill. Get hands-on with silencers, explore interactive displays, and talk with our expert staff. Whether you're new or a pro, we can make your guns better because we give a shh. The new Silencer Shop showroom, now open in Liberty Hill.
You love your home, but sometimes it feels like it's running your life. Leaky faucets, overgrown hedges, and that room you've been meaning to repaint. Sometimes it's just too much. With AirTasker, finding help is simple. Post your task, set your budget, and let local taskers take care of it. It's like having a personal handyman for all the projects on your to-do list. Download AirTasker or visit us at airtasker.com today and make your home work for you, not the other way around. AirTasker. Get anything done.
World Cup ski racing returns. Don't miss Michaela Schifrin and the world's best at the Steeple Copper Cup, Copper Mountain, November 27th through 30th. An Olympic qualifier on NBC and CNBC, November 29th through 30th.
Heating and air and plumbing. Call us because we care.
Chris and Kyle here. We're Elite AC and Plumbing, the local guys. We install American Standard heating and air conditioning. Fall is here. It's hot. It's cold. Who knows? Make sure your system is ready for fall. Call us for your home and commercial needs.
American Standard Air. Elite heating and air and plumbing. Call us because we care.
Black Friday weekend just got a whole lot more exciting at Twin Peaks. They're throwing a costume party November the 24th through the 26th and again on the 28th with drink specials, giveaways, and so much more. And yes, the Twin Peaks girls will be dressed to impress all weekend long. So after you snag the shopping deals, slide on over for ice cold drinks, great vibes, and a little holiday fun. Only at Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks,
scenic views.
Hi, folks. Craig Way here. The year was 1963. The future greatest basketball player of all time by the name of Michael Jordan was born. The Texas Longhorns won their first football national championship under head coach Darrell Royal. An inner space cavern right down the road was discovered while building I-35. Come see all of the amazing history and beauty that inner space caverns has to offer. It's only 20 minutes north from downtown Austin, exit 259 in Georgetown.
Here we go.
It's absolutely amazing.
Welcome back to Longhorns Game Day with Cameron Parker, Mike Hardball Hardge, and Mark Henry.
Mike's open.
Arch Manning, you actually fell out of the rankings. You had your quarterback called the biggest flop in college football. That's turned around, but not being able to control your own destiny despite a win or loss today. Does Texas need to reach the playoff, win the day to call this season successful? What's your take on it?
Yeah, so I think it's interesting because I think Steve Sarkisian has set the standard. It's not what we set. I mean, we put him number one. I'm an AP voter. I think I had him number two behind Ohio State because I always put the defending champion number one.
Smart move.
But Steve Sarkisian's the one that set this standard. And the standard is you go to the playoff. So it's a disappointment if you don't go to the playoff. That's okay. It's okay to have that standard. You want that standard. He got a little defensive, I thought, in one of his press conferences recently, which I thought was weird. Because, again, we aren't attacking him. We're just talking about the standard that he set for this program. It is an extreme long shot for this team to get in the playoff. They're going to need a lot of things to happen, and most of those things are going to be very difficult to happen. I think Utah already beat Kansas, so that's one down of about 3 or 4 things you probably need to happen to jump people. I think a win today is nice on the resume. You have 3 top 10 wins, which hasn't happened since 2019 with Joe Burrow. All that's great, but you lost to either 3-9 or 4-8 Florida. You lost to Georgia by 25, and I think the committee's going to look at that stuff. Now, again, if Texas doesn't play Ohio State, and they play UAB, and they win that game at home, and they're 10-2. What are we talking about right now? Are they better than Oklahoma? Well, they played on a neutral field.
Yep.
Although the committee doesn't necessarily see it that way because they've got Notre Dame ahead of Miami. So I just think there are a lot of, you could go down a lot of paths. I don't think it's realistic for Texas to make the playoff. I don't think is it possible? Yes. Should you have the conversation? Absolutely. Can you lay out the facts? Absolutely. Is it going to happen? Most likely not. That doesn't mean in the end this entire thing was a disappointment because you're seeing the growth of Arch Manning, which is the biggest thing I think you needed to see after the way it started. And that's a good thing. I think if you're a Texas fan, you win or lose today, win or lose your bowl game, I think you've got to feel good about we've got a quarterback that really figured some things out this year. I can build around that in the offseason, whether it's offensive line in the portal, which they've never done, running back, whatever, wherever you want to go with it, because you're going to lose a lot on defense too, by the way. You're going to lose Anthony Hill and Ethan Burke and Michael Taft, these guys that are a prominent part of your defense. But when you got to late September, early October, you lost to Florida. I think from that point on, you've got to feel like played a lot better. Like at least the strides were there from that point on.
Yeah, and it's interesting that you bring up the Florida game because I thought that was one of the games where Arch Manning showed us some guts.
I do too.
I mean, he was getting his behind kicked every single play, and he did not quit. He showed up. He came to practice the next day and was ready to go. And every game he has gotten better. So not only did he show us that, he also showed that locker room that he's a guy that is going to be in the fight to the very end. And speaking of the fight to the very end.
By the way, that was massive in the moment.
Right.
I thought that was absolutely massive in the moment that he did that.
Right. And you look back at it and you can go to that point and see, okay, this is where I think he was like, I'm tired of getting pushed around. I'm tired of all the slander. Let's get to work and let's start growing as a quarterback. But as I was saying, fighting to the end. This is the end of the season. Yep. This is the last game on the schedule. It's Texas A&M, your rival, coming in 11-0. Everybody's talking about A&M. This is your opportunity on your home field to kind of knock them out a little bit of where they're pretending to go. And I'm not talking about, I know they're in the playoffs. They're solidified in the playoffs. But everybody's looking at them as this is their best team that they've ever had.
And it's very feasible it is.
Right.
This is a really, really good Texas A&M team. Texas is going to have to play really well tonight to win this game.
Right.
And if Anthony Hill doesn't play, and if that's a massive loss. You've already got Anthony Smith missing the first half because of targeting last week. So your linebacking core in that first half is going to be young. I mean, it's Leon Galafau, and then you're like, okay, what else do you guys have? What can you show us? I also kind of look at this. If you're a Texas fan, you probably kind of look at this as this is our bowl game. And I said the extent of most of the team are not going to play in the bowl game anymore. Like that, if you don't make the playoffs, these guys they're not going to play in the Citrus Bowl, the Houston Bowl, or whatever it is. So this, in a lot of ways, is these guys' last game. And it's not just senior night. It's most likely their last game in Texas. And so I think there's a lot that goes into like, we want to win this because there's an outside shot of a playoff. We want to win this because it's Texas A&M. But for our seniors, most of them probably won't play in the bowl game. So this is their final game in Texas. And so I think that's going to be an interesting kind of part of this is, yeah, you got to be fired up. Yeah, all that. But all of this is from the preparation standpoint. It's all how you prepare. Can you slow Marcel Reed? He's a different quarterback than you saw last year in College Station. Can you slow him enough to give your offense a chance? I think that's the biggest thing for me. I think the offense has been really good. I think they can put up points. They can go toe-to-toe with Texas A&M's offense. This game might be 48-45. I don't know. But I think the offense, yeah, no doubt. I think the offense can. I think the way they've developed is great. And I think they could be one-dimensional and do it. Like, people are like, well, you're going to have to run the ball. No, you don't. Like, you're not going to have to run the ball. Like, you're going to have Arch Manning play out of his mind with his receiving core. Let Trey and CJ come out of the backfield a little bit. But, like, you can do this without the running game. They've done it for 8 weeks now. I mean, they ran for 123 yards against Oklahoma, and that's their best game in the SEC.
Right.
That's wild. Right. But it is what it is right now, and you are who you are. We've seen this team play 11 games. We know who they are. Can they come out and do that today?
Score prediction?
No. Why? Please don't make me do that. I just feel like I'm going to get booed off the stage with whatever I say here.
Don't worry about it.
I do think, like,
You'll be the first person to pick A&M today on this stage.
I think A&M's going to win the game. And I hope I'm wrong. It'd be great to be wrong. I just think this is such a good team. And I think the loss, if Anthony Hill doesn't play, maybe that's my judgment zone. If Anthony Hill doesn't play, I think A&M's going to win the game. I think there's my teeter point. Yeah, it's going to be close in the fourth quarter.
There it is. I like that.
I think it's going to be close in the fourth quarter. But I feel like if Anthony Hill doesn't play, that's going to be really bad for this team.
Is Bob Ballou, CBS Sports Director and the host of the Stampede podcast. Bob, appreciate it.
Get booed off stage.
I was going to say, get up out of here, Bob.
Give it to him. Give it to him.
Just if Anthony doesn't play.
Yeah, you got it out. You got it out.
Before we wrap up, hey, we're 90 minutes away from kickoff, brought to you by our friends at Austin Shoe Hospital. We're going to get you hardballs in mind, score predictions as Longhorns game day for Bevo Blvd wraps up after this.
Future is here. Arch Manning.
Arch to the 10. Arch to the 5. Arch to the goal line. Touchdown, Texas.
Hear every throw, every scramble, every touchdown on your home for the Horns.
Arch makes a tackle. 50, 45, 30. Dare I say it? Say goodnight to it. 67 yards. Arch
a single moment of the man-eater on 1300 The Zone. Hook 'em.
iHeart is America's #1 podcast network. Open the free iHeart app and explore podcasts like this.
Daphne Caruana Galizia was a Maltese investigative journalist and blogger who spent her life fighting for truth, justice, and decency in a country overrun by corruption. But on October 16, 2017, she was assassinated.
There are crooks everywhere you look now. The situation is desperate.
Malta is a tourist paradise, but underneath its extraordinary beauty, there are some dark, dark shadows. This is a place where dark power and dark money likes to hang out. And if you try and tell truth to that dark money and that dark power, if you're a journalist, it can be a very dangerous place indeed.
They were asleep in their own beds, and somebody piled rubber tires out the back of the house and set them alight.
These are 5 car bombs within the space of a year, and nothing was done about it.
I was shaking. It was a mixture of anger and fear.
From iHeart Podcasts, Topic Studios, and Vespucci, this is Crooks Everywhere. My name is Manuel Delilla, former political operative turned journalist.
I'm John Sweeney, a former BBC journalist and investigative reporter. Together, we unravel the web of deception, exposing the dangerous forces at play in Malta.
Crooks Everywhere.
Listen on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and listen now.
The free iHeartRadio app is #1 for music, radio, and podcasts, all in one. Discover a new podcast from our library of over 350,000 titles. Here's an iHeartRadio podcast preview.
I just realized that the first letter of every line of this review spells help me.
It seems like everyone's a critic these days, blessing the world with our slightest opinions, all on our own mini platforms.
I have another user review here. It's impossible to get into the lives of characters.
Nope, it's entirely possible. That's the profession of filmmaking.
I hate Batman. And the only thing we have left to criticize is criticism itself. I'm Scott Janovitz.
And I'm Greg Conlon.
Citizen Critic, a podcast where we will critique the critics and review the reviews of everything from movies, music, and television to toasters, toiletries, and paint colors.
We'll hear from the experts.
Here's my review. Coldness and heartlessness are undermining today's suspense movies. The end. Don't go see it. 0 stars. As well as from all the citizen critics out there. So we loved our experience here because I read all the reviews beforehand and did not stay, eat dinner, or officially tour here. 5 stars. You'll find some useful tips. This is in German. Do not buy unless you speak German. As you can tell from this review, I speak English and not German. Because we won the war. Wow.
And some pretty useless tips.
Oh, it has wall-to-wall profanity and vulgar language.
Can't you just make a movie about mobsters where they don't swear?
We'll uncover some startling truths. September 11th was still more than a week away.
He claiming Mr. Rogers had something to do with 9/11?
I think he's not claiming it. I think he's about to prove it, Greg. We'll go on a journey of self-discovery.
Night of the Comet is one of the greatest movies.
Well, no, it's not.
Okay. I immediately back up this.
And confront our own shameful opinions.
Why should the pros who get, at least they get paid for it? I want to do this for free. Like my opinion on, what was that band that I really get out in front of?
The New Radicals.
The New Radicals. Yeah, I was like, I think this guy's the next Stevie. But mostly, it'll be a bunch of nonsense like this.
Yeah, use
Okay.
Let me bing it. Yeah, I'm gonna bing this. Bing? Bing. Find Citizen Critic on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Here we go.
Gameday with Cameron Parker, Mike Hardball Hardge, and Mark Henry.
Mike's up.
So next season will be our last broadcast. There is the postseason. Hey, if Texas win today, maybe some doors open. Longhorns could find themselves back in the college football playoff. Okay, first things first, some big news. In and out, who's in, who's out update on Anthony Hill, the star Texas linebacker, officially announced as a game time decision. So Anthony Hill, of course, the Texas linebacker, a game time decision. So Sark, PK, we're going to let Anthony Hill go through warm-ups and see if he'll be ready to go in this game because Texas, no doubt, needs him to stop this A&M rushing attack.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if he does go, how long and how effective he could be. But it's one of those situations. As a game time decision, does Sark say, hey, can you give me at least a half?
Yeah.
And then bring in Ty Anthony Smith to finish out the second half of the game? There's a lot that's out there, but it's also going to be about pain tolerance. How much pain can he play with?
Your two best run defending linebackers are Anthony Hill and Anthony Smith, and one will be out for the first half. The other one may miss the entire game. Sark trying to get at least something out of his linebackers. Okay, before we close out, Hardge, give me a score prediction.
Oh, my goodness. You know, as we sit here today and you go through all the pros and cons and where teams are playing, we got a chance to see Texas A&M struggle, but we also got a chance to see them fight back in that second half. For the last few weeks, we got a chance to watch Texas play and play at a high level. Yes, Arkansas scored a lot of points, but there was a lot of inexperience that was playing in the second half. The game never was truly out of control for the Texas Longhorns, and I strongly believe that. But as you look at Texas A&M and what they've been able to do, 11-0 all season long, showing that grit, showing that fight, all signs point to Texas A&M winning this game. But I'm not taking Texas A&M. I refuse to do it. I'm taking the Longhorns, 28-24.
All right. Mike Hardge going with the Longhorns. I'll tell you what, matchup on paper is a nightmare for Texas, but give me Texas 27, Texas 23. All right. Hey, thanks so much to who made today's broadcast possible. Ronald Savage back in the studio. Jay Kerman, Anton Lycum, Jax Brown as well. Thanks to Craig Wade and Roger Wallace for coming on. Bob Ballou, CJ Vogel, Eric Henry, and head coach Vic Schaefer. For Mike Hardball Hardge, I'm Cameron Parker, sending you to the broadcast booth where Craig Wade, Roger Wallace, and Will Matthews have the call.
Hey, this is Jamie Loftus, and this is my new weekly 16